truck driver wants to get rude. Fine, I gave him exactly what he wanted. Edit. First off, thank you all for the kind works of encouragement and advice, it's appreciated, and thank you kind strangers for the rewards. So on to what people keep bringing up. This is abuse. Let me start off by saying I sympathized with the situation at first. It gets hot here, but the week this happened it was a high of maybe 90 degrees around noon, the rest was 85 degrees during the day. Bob would have been okay, as yes, that tractor was still used until it went to be repaired, and every other guy had no issues with it. Sometimes you have to tough things out, especially when you are making as much as these guys make. They are well compensated for their time and efforts. No, he isn't in the truck for straight period of time. Maybe a 10-hour day max, with stops that require him to get out of the truck about 4 times each hour. He also delivered in a coastal area with a sea breeze.
Bob is a younger driver in good health, so yes, he would have been uncomfortable, but what I was trying to explain to him that was left out was that I wanted him to write it out until it was fixed soon, because what he was suggesting was stealing a truck from a different senior-aged driver. Dick move. All in all, it would have been an uncomfortable few weeks, I'll give him that, but he was given exactly what he asked for. A new truck. Okay. His old truck back. Alright. Oh, how this has been a long time coming, and it completely panned out the way I wanted it to. Background is super important here, so please bear with me. Usual first time poster and on mobile.
So I, 20F, work as a clerk at a large trucking company. I've been there for 2 years now, but regardless have an extremely hard time getting respect from majority of the people there. Because of 175 employees, only 14 are women, and I am by far the youngest by a handful of years. The environment is great when it's good and terrible when it's not. As you can imagine, there is the usual daily dose of misogyny, sexual harassment, light, and general ignorance that you would expect from a conservative blue-collar warehouse. But after 2 years I have grown quite a thick skin and have little issues standing up to these grown-ass men when they get pushy or rough with me. So far my job is really supposed to just be basic customer service and filing, but I had the opportunity to learn how to dispatch, the checking in of drivers and assignment of their next task, and I flourished.
My daily tasks expanded quite a bit in dispatch duties, the most important of which for this story is equipment assignment. It's part of my daily task to assign what driver is in what semi-truck, tractor, for the day. They are all for the most part assigned to a specific one. But when you have vehicles that drive well over 500 miles a day, if not more, things happen. Breakdowns, accidents. The mechanics need to take them for service, you name it. So what ends up happening is, on average, I usually have about 15 to 20 drivers a day who need to be assigned to trucks. On top of that, to make it more complicated, the pandemic caused a boom in service, which is great, but also led to management hiring more drivers than what we have equipment for. So this means many drivers have to share. The drivers who go out in the middle of the night and bring the trucks back give it up to the drivers who start in the morning to take it out during the day. Constant rotation. It's my job to organize who has what. Here is where the issue started. We have a handful of drivers who hate sharing their trucks. Frankly, sharing trucks can be a pain, as you can't control what time someone will be back. Sometimes the guys are messy, and in general it's like forcing little kids to share toys. So one driver in particular I have a problem with, we will call Bob. Bob will constantly brag about having his own truck and how good a driver he is because he doesn't have to share, often pulling the seniority card on newer drivers. Well, it was fine until the AC in his tractor broke. You see, in the state I am in, working AC is not required for the tractor to be street legal. Which sucks, as we have days that can get up to 100 degrees. Well, as expected, as soon as Bob's truck stopped working, the shop told him it would be almost a month before they could fix it, as there were more important things to be settled. He immediately launched into an angry frenzy and went straight to management demanding to be put into something newer and nicer. We got into verbal arguments over it as he refused to take whatever I was giving him unless it was brand new, and he especially refused to take the truck with no AC. While I don't blame him for not wanting to drive a truck with no AC in the summer, the problem with the way he went about it. Rude and talking to me like I was stupid. So I gave him exactly what he wanted, a brand new 2021 truck with less than 500 miles. Some of the one we have are over 15 years old with over 1 million miles on them. On it. Problem is that truck is shared with a nighttime driver with twice his seniority and the habit of getting other drivers in trouble for leaving trucks messy. Bob is a slob, not fueling up properly, not doing the paperwork correct, etc. So for as much as Bob was a pain in the ass, the driver he shared with was even more so an issue, especially considering that they did not get along. Within a week of sharing, Bob had been written up for being messy. Where it gets interesting. 3 weeks into the arrangement, Bob is miserable. He finds out that his old truck has been fixed and immediately, without talking to me, goes over my head to management to demand to be reassigned to that truck, which is granted. I was irritated as at this point another driver had been in that truck and making do with the lack of AC and was happy to have it, and once again Bob was being spoiled.
So I begged my supervisor to grant me the authority to keep Bob in the truck no matter what. I told Bob this and told him if the AC went out again he was stuck, so choose wisely. He make fun of me, said he didn't care and that he wanted his old truck back. 3 days later the AC goes out again just in time for a heat wave, the first one of our Florida summer. My only response to his complaints was it was going to be a hot summer, a response that was thankfully backed by management.
Does this company offer CDLs with commitments? And is it near Lakeland? Asking for a friend who lives in the mirror. Edit. Thank you for everyone recommending trucking companies. But as I stated in another response, I can't really commit to an OTR position, and OP's company sounds local only. I know it's a long shot, but if a company doing local routes offers to pay for a CDL, sign me up. Wow. I guess he got what he deserved on that one. The best part is, the next time he gets upset over something, you can tell him to chill out. It'll be up to you whether to take it a step farther and say, "Oh wait, you can't. Can you?" Quote. If you can broadcast to all drivers from dispatch, they might appreciate it if you told them the forecast high every morning. As a driver, I've learned to never piss on or off the dispatcher or the mechanics. You catch a whole lot more flies with honey than vinegar. I'm always nice, cordial, and cheery, and when I need something, the gift of lunch goes a long way. Call me a kiss ass. But I get better loads and faster fixed, serviced truck than a lot of guys with more seniority than me. Good for you standing up and pushing back in this industry. It's not an easy one for anyone, and especially a woman. I'd upvote this 100 times if I could. Used to work in the software industry for a company that made logistic management software for trucking companies. I engaged with people in the trucking industry for years, and boy, does this story ever have the ring of truth to it. By the way, congrats on becoming a dispatcher. Such a difficult job. Takes an expert multitasker to be able to do that job. Very stressful. Some trucking companies had in-house gyms so their employees would have a place to go to just work off the stress. You are one tough person. First rule of truck driving: don't piss off dispatch or receivers. They can. And if you piss them off enough, they absolutely will ruin your day, your week, or your entire career with the company, depending on how mad you make them. Looks like the stars aligned to teach him not to be a spoilt brat. When you write, bear with me. Think of a bear tagging along. And you'll never spell it wrong again. Delightful. Does your company deliver to multiple retailers? Because this sounds like he might be my regular delivery driver, who is mysteriously suddenly on vacation. And our deliveries have been a day late for the last 2 weeks. Calm down, Bob, there's no reason to get heated. What's up with conservative blue-collar and treating women like shit? Like, how is everyone around them cool with it? I guess you could say the whole situation has left Bob a little hot under the collar. No musical note. As a 50-year woman with 20 years industrial employment in factories, forklift truck driving, paint making, laboratory work, rewinding armature coils, shot blasting, spot welding, you have all of my commiserations working with heavy sexism. Remember, this was 30 years ago. And hard banter. I am cheering for you, sister. Florida native here. Left after 30 years. Summer is going to be hell on Bob. I almost pity him. Almost. As someone who has also had to deal with men, children and their bullshit. Actual chef. Not just a SN. I applaud this story. Well done. Young Padawan. Well done. Yeah, I feel you on this. I am a mechanic for a trucking company. And the only mechanic for this location. And here we have 12 trucks that are mostly slip seat, and this is a constant headache. We have one driver who will straight up throw a hissy fit if his truck ain't back in the yard by 4 p.m. And most of the time he will throw up his hands and go home for the night. This is just one example of the drama these drivers cause around here. I swear most days it's like high school with all the drama that goes on. So good on you, op, to make that one driver suffer for being insufferable. I hope soon I can pull something like that. Wait, are there states where driving with broken AC is illegal? My European mind can't comprehend this. Truck driver here. Bob got exactly what he deserves after being such a slob in a shared truck and not fueling it like he was supposed to. As a side note though, a working AC in a truck operated in Florida should not be something put on the back burner. Especially if the company expects its drivers to look neat and clean when dealing with customers. Incredible.
If you enjoyed this video, please check out our playlists full of similar content. Epic Ericast is like doom scrolling for your ears. Please like, share, and subscribe.